Chaos of thought. The fabric of the universe. Are we, the massive and massless particles, actors DECOR, or spectators on the stage? What lies behind the stage, the fabric? People usually perceive the fabric of the universe as an empty stage, apart from the massive and massless energy particles. But in fact, the stage itself is the fabric of the universe. We try to sense the invisible actors on the stage as much as we can from the sounds they produce. So, if we, massive and massless particles, are not decorations, not actors, and not spectators, then what are we? From now on, we will define the fabric of the universe simply as the fabric. What is the fabric? The part of the fabric we can perceive is, as Einstein said, the space-time pattern that interacts with mass and energy. Quantum field theories that give mass to a particle, problems of uncertainty in massive and massless particles, observer effect, entanglement, dark energy, singularity. All these phenomena are the sounds, metaphorically, that we can understand only through interaction with the fabric. Scientific definitions of the fabric suggest that it may not be continuous, but filled with uncertainties and possessing a vibrating structure like quantum foam. Approaches such as string theory or loop quantum gravity propose that at the smallest scales, the fabric of the universe consists of woven threads or vibrating strings. The fabric is often likened to a network. Some perceive it as a computational fabric, like a simulation. There are even those who consider this fabric to be the consciousness of the universe. All atoms, particles, and energy are in constant interaction with the fabric. Even if the fabric dominates the subatomic world through probabilities, it also influences the superatomic world by intervening with the laws of nature, guiding it in a way. In fact, everything, living and non-living, floats within an environment resembling an ocean, which they interact with but find very difficult to define. If the fabric interacts with both the subatomic and superatomic worlds, as foam, woven net, or vibration, it must contain energy, and it must also have its own laws of nature that guide and shape it. Space and time, and all the other subjects I mentioned may not be fundamental. They could be the products of more basic structures. That is why every particle and every wave of energy rearranges the fabric through dynamic interaction. The fabric is a common platform where all particles and energies can affect one another. The fabric does not merely allow the universe to exist. It also makes it meaningful. Our consciousness is, in fact, a product of this fabric. The fabric is the infrastructure of existence. Perhaps it might be possible, in theory, to manipulate the fabric of the universe. We can perceive this fabric in the following way. Stage, the place where all movement and interaction occurs. The medium that allows the flow of energy. The fundamental structure required for existence to be possible. If the fabric were merely a neutral platform, nothing would change. The fabric expands. The fabric ripples. The fabric carries forms of energy. Is this fabric merely a stage? Naturally, this question arises. Does this play have an audience? Or is the play performing only for itself? The fabric is not a completely neutral stage. Or does the fabric intervene in the play? The fabric does intervene. What we call intervention is the laws of nature. The fabric is not just the stage. It is also an active agent that determines the direction, speed, and boundaries of movement. If intelligence is involved in the intervention, then naturalness becomes chance. But does the fabric roll dice? If the fabric's intervention is conscious or intelligent, then rolling the dice may simply be a style of play. If there is no intelligence, then the dice truly represent natural randomness. Randomness seems to be an irreversible feature of the fabric. At the quantum scale, randomness appears embedded in the fabric, as if it is rolling dice. But is this dice rolling really blind chance? Or is it the game rules of a deeper intelligence? The naturalness we experience may arise from the statistical average of these dice rolls. Perhaps we overlook deeper rules we do not yet understand, so it appears to us as dice. Is it true randomness, or could it be a cleverly hidden order we cannot yet see? Uncertainty in the fabric. Uncertainty is not merely randomness. It plays a fundamental role in the emergence of order and definiteness. Uncertainty is the raw material of transformation into certainty. Solid objects, molecules, and life itself all arise from quantum uncertainty, giving rise to definite structures. Uncertainty may look like chaos, but it actually plays a creative role. Order emerges filtered out of uncertainty. Uncertainty, on average, produces a clear law, softening the chaos and clarifying definiteness on a macro scale. Quantum uncertainty appears as the raw energy of existence. The diversity and structures of the universe have emerged from the field of uncertainty. It is not our lack of knowledge that defines uncertainty. It is the very structure of nature. Uncertainty seems to break the classical chain of cause and effect. It is a fundamental feature of how the universe operates. In other words, the fabric is the ground on which existence unfolds, creating a stage for energy, matter, light, and motion to manifest. The purpose of the fabric is to make structures, order, and processes possible. In this case, the purpose of the fabric may be to give rise to self-reflective beings, ourselves, from within itself. We can view the purpose of the fabric of the universe in terms of function, meaning, stage, and a network of connections. So, does this play have an audience? Or is the play only performing for itself? An observer, as an independent witness, is not assumed. If there is an observer, it too is within the play. It is not an external, independent spectator. There is no external viewer. The players and the play are not separate. We can define the fabric as a self-observing process, because consciousness has emerged from the fabric of the universe. With our consciousness, we humans have the ability to observe and interpret the universe itself. That means the observer is us, but we are also products of the play. We are the universe becoming conscious of itself. There is no external observer. The fabric of the universe creates eyes within itself, us and other conscious beings. Thus, the player and the observer of the play are actually different aspects of the same whole. There is no scientific evidence that the play has an external audience, but the consciousnesses that arise from within the play, ourselves, assume the role of the audience. The fabric of the universe is a play that plays itself and at the same time observes itself. In other words, the one who plays the game and the one who observes it are simply different aspects of the same whole. There is no outside spectator, or conscious beings that observe the play are themselves parts of the universe. The fabric of the universe is a play that both plays and observes itself. The fabric of the universe is, in fact, both the stage and the play itself. If there is no transcendent observer, so, what lies behind the stage, the fabric? To be continued in the next second part.